Welcome back to another exciting episode of Can It Take K26, the show where I take a variety of Nerf blasters and attempt to upgrade them using K26 Spring. I'm your host, Captain Xavier, and today we have all of the blasters that have a priming handle in the grip. Our first contestant is the Jolt Ex1, so named, of course, because it has an external priming handle. Anything with X in the name is cool, and it holds one dart. The Jolt has the distinction, I believe, of being the most reshelled blaster in Nerf history. I don't even have any idea how many variants of the Jolt. They came out in N-Strike, N-Strike Elite, Zombie Strike, Rebel. They will probably have them for Doomlands and whatever comes next. But, can it take K26? Let's find out. Unfortunately, the Jolt will not take the K26. While the spring will fit into the body, the spring has to be able to compress into this part of the plunger tube in order for there to be enough compression for it to be able to latch. And unfortunately, the K26 will not fit into there. However, I do have some heavier spring that might. We're going to give this stuff a try. No idea what it is. But it was in the bin, and it looks like I have exactly enough to do 2 jolts. All right, cannot take K26, but can be significantly upgraded with the right spring that I think I got at a hardware store. It's been kicking around in my spring bin forever. Couldn't find anything it fit in. Now I've got something, so there you have it. On to the next contestant. Our next contestant is the Nerf Grip Blaster. The Grip Blaster was originally released in 2016 as part of the N-Strike Modulus series. It features reverse tack rail and 2 barrels with a smart AR system, and appears to be the brainchild of a meeting that I assume went something like this. Alright gentlemen, those feckless Nerf herders have been telling us that they want Modulus attachments that are more useful. Apparently they've been strapping Triads to their barrels for years. Can we do something like that? Yes, Jenkins, what's your idea? Well, couldn't we just attach reverse rail to the top of a Triad and release that? Good idea, Jenkins! Let's do exactly that, but let's take one of the barrels off. Why? Because those feckless Nerf herders are ingrateful. Weren't you listening? Or something like that. Anyway, it's essentially a Triad with 1 less barrel and some reverse tack rail, but can it take a K26? Let's find out. Well, the trigger mechanism seems to be a little bit beefier than the previous one, so maybe. Unfortunately, this one fails for the same reason that the Triad fails. There is not enough room inside the plunger itself to have the K26 in there and have it get enough compression to be able to catch. So, no good. We could try a spring upgrade, though. Right, well, that is a no for the K26, but a yes to the spring upgrade. This one actually is strong enough, the catch mechanism is strong enough to take a heavier spring, so that is lovely. However, having smart ARs means there's only so much you could do with it. I'm half tempted to see if I can't take the smart ARs out altogether and see if I can actually fire both darts. I've never had much luck with that, but I've always wanted to give it a try. In any case, there you have it. The next contestant is the Triad Ex3, so named, of course, because of the external priming handle, the fact that anything with X in the name is cool, and the fact that it holds 3 darts. This was originally released in 2013 as part of the N-Strike Elite line. It has a direct plunger system. The Triad has always had fairly impressive power, in my opinion, but we will see what happens when we try to put a K26 in it. Alright, right off the bat, I don't think it is going to work. It's got the same system where the spring compresses into the plunger tube, or the plunger head, but I happen to have a little bit more of that other spring, so we're going to go ahead and use that. As long as we're in here. All right, we got it back together. Let's see what it can do with this new spring. Could not take K26, but it could take some other heavier spring. That's apparently a little too heavy. Well, unfortunately, the Triad is, turns out very resistant to being modified, as far as I could find. The catch mechanism was not strong enough to take the spring upgrade that I tried. It fit, but it wouldn't catch. It wouldn't stay locked. It popped loose. So if anybody knows how that can be fixed, I would love to hear from you. Thinking maybe a shim on the inside to press it up against the catch, maybe. But other than that, this one has failed in all respects. Let's bring out the final contestant for this evening. The next contestant is the Nerf Big Shot. This was originally released in 2015 as part of the N-Strike Mega Series. It, of course, has the direct plunger. And its main feature is it has a dart holder on the top. I have already done a review of this where I modified it to be a little bit more modular to take different types of darts. I also did do a spring upgrade, but we're going to see if it can take K26. And whether K26 will be heavier than what I currently have in here. It has the same feature where the spring does have to compress down into the head, but unlike the previous ones, this one might just have enough, or this one is big enough for the K26 to fit in. Whether or not it'll have enough compression in there, I don't know, but I am willing to try to find out. The K26 is just a little bit too powerful for the Big Shot, and it cannot catch. So we'll go back to our previous setup, which was perfectly acceptable. Okay, once again, an example of the spirit being willing, but the body being weak. The K26 does fit, it does get sufficient compression and pull, but the plunger catch is not strong enough, and I don't know of any way to improve that in this particular blaster, in this design. So, this one is unfortunately another failure. It has spring upgrades in it, but not the K26. All right, for those of you keeping track at home, that was a no for the Jolt for the K26, but a yes to a spring upgrade. A no to the K26 in the Grip Blaster, but yes to a spring upgrade. No for the Triad for the K26, and no for a spring upgrade, though I'm sure there's a spring out there somewhere that can be used in this. And finally, a no for the Big Shock, but yes to a spring upgrade, making it the first episode of Can It Take a K26 in which all of the contestants are losers. Or at least not capable of taking a K26. It seems the handle prime blasters just don't have a trigger mechanism capable of supporting it. Tragic, I know. All right, if you have any suggestions, comments, concerns, just want to call me a huge nerd, or if you have recommendations for future episodes, let me know in the comments below, and thank you for watching this episode of Can It Take a K26?